When the Cleveland Browns traded Baker Mayfield to the Carolina Panthers, oh baby, we saw the schedule, we had our reactions, we were ready to go about what this potential matchup would be. And, honestly, it wasn't all on Baker, but there was a lot left to be liked about the Carolina Panthers after that game. But I did see some good things. There were some good things, that definitely came from that game. And I think, in our latest edition of Standouts and Fizzouts, because, everybody's got their own version of winners and losers, risers and fallers. But for us, it's Standouts and Fizzouts because pop, or soda, whatever you want to call it. We think that pop should replace all water. We think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. We are not sponsored by any major soda company yet, but or soft drink, again, whatever you guys want to call it. Yet we are not sponsored yet, but one day, baby. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter to us. It's about the fact that we just love pop. So today, that just kind of pays tribute to what we talk about when we kind of just shed a light on the matchup between the Browns and the Panthers here. So. I'm just going to bring you guys straight to it. So a lot of things that stood out to me in this game. You can't really mention any standouts, or you can't stop without mentioning that, obviously the Browns have such an impressive running game that it's almost not fair against any team. So, I think it starts with Jacoby Brissett, though. I think that the thing was coming into this game, is he going to be a guy that can at least lead this team to victory? And he did. He absolutely did. I think that, yes, he wasn't going to be it wasn't going to be a 300 yard passing game for him, but he finished 18 of 34 for 147 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He kept them in position to win it, and when it counted most and when they needed it most, he was able to get them in field goal range. And then Cade York out there just absolutely just destroying it. So then obviously, yes, big risers, standouts for us here, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I mean, what else can you say at this point? Both of those guys combining for over 180 yards on the ground and a touchdown as well. Anthony Schwartz also adding a little bit as well. He's a guy that I think he had 3 touches for like 39 yards. He's going to be a different element to that offense, absolutely. And then obviously, Donovan Peoples-Jones led the way with 6 catches for 60 yards. I wanted to put him as a standout, but really, to me, it was the fact of how well they were able to run the football against a good Panthers defense at the end of the day as well. Defensively, obviously standout number 1 there, Myles Garrett, couple of sacks against the rookie Ikem Ekwonu, who, honestly, is it that much of a shock? Not really. But, you look at it, and you're happy that he was able to go out there and make plays. Like I said, he was immediately I felt that from the first snap, he was going to assert his dominance. But, I mean, Icky definitely, I felt, held his own at certain points during that game as well. So, a guy like holding a guy like Myles Garrett to a couple sacks might not be normally great for someone, but there were some good things I saw from Icky, so I'm not ready to just write him off. So, I believe Martin Emerson, the rookie coming up, also I think he's going to be a player you're going to want to continue to watch, as well as yes, John Johnson led the way with 7 tackles, also had half a sack. And I think he was kind of one of those players that I think is just going to continue to get better. So, and then as far as Fizzouts, yes, the roughing the passer rules, I got to be real. Taven Bryan, I don't get it. I felt like he was in a good position there, and it's tough, because I think it was early in the game. They were down deep in Panther territory, and he got that roughing the passer call. I just don't know what edge rushers are supposed to do anymore. Like, how do you not put any amount of weight on a passer these days? It's just, I believe it's, I think it's a stupid rule. I really do. I don't get it. I understand that they want to keep guys off of guys and make sure that they are not going out there and putting all their weight on guys and injuring somebody. But at the same time, it really doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how edge rushers are supposed to tackle quarterbacks. It just makes it a lot harder at the end of the day. Grant Delpit, definitely also a guy, Grant Delpit and Desmond Ward, both fizzouts on that long touchdown allowed to Robbie Anderson there. I mean, Robbie Anderson is one of the fastest guys in the NFL, and you're just going to let this guy run right by you? Like, I was just like, or at least, and I know Robbie Anderson, like I said, is a very good player, but at the same time, you have a guy that just goes out there and you take it out there and let him go deep. It's just, those two, I was expecting a little more out of them. I was hoping that they were going to be able to come out and do a little bit better coverage than that, but it is what it is. But, us, obviously, guys like, if we want to talk about other standouts, though, I think guys like, Jadeveon Clowney, who had a good day. as well as Tommy Tagai. I think that's how I say it. I apologize in advance. But also, Robbie Harrison also had that sack that was shared in that sack that, it really kept, at least in that first half, it really kept them off balance. The Browns, that is, or excuse me, it kept the Panthers off balance because they were not able to really establish anything in terms of that passing game, and it was rough to start things out there. So, I think those guys, the defense for the Browns, they did their jobs, and they were able to keep them off balanced. Then you head over to the Panthers here. We'll start with standouts. We'll start with standouts for the Panthers. I got to be real with you. I felt like the Panthers, Brady Christensen, the guard, had a 68.9 PFF grade. I believe he had a clean sheet as well. The offensive line in a lot of different ways had a rough day. Taylor Moton as well, one of those players, 57.4 PFF grade. So it wasn't a great day all around for the Panthers offensive line, but Brady Christensen, one of those small rays of sunshine for the Panthers, absolutely. Christian McCaffrey, another one, 10 carries, 33 yards, and a touchdown. Also had 4 catches for 24 yards. But at the end of the day, he's a player that he was that spark when they needed it at a lot of different times. So, Christian McCaffrey, he's still got it. He's definitely a player you want to continue to watch out for. Robbie Anderson, also another standout, 5 catches, 102 yards, had that touchdown as well. That really, it was one of those plays that you just look at, you're like, wow, like that was a good play by Baker there. But, at the end of the day, it was Robbie Anderson, and as long as you can hit him in stride, you're going to look pretty good. Fizz outs, yes, Ike Ekwonu. We talked about the fact that back-to-back sacks allowed against Myles Garrett, but it is what it is. I mean, it's Myles Garrett, so I mean, you don't really fault him for that, but it was a rough day. He had a 41.2 PFF grade. Taylor Moton, like we mentioned, a 57.4 PFF grade. Baker Mayfield, kind of a long day. 16 to 27, 235 yards and a touchdown, as well as an interception he overthrew. Especially early in the game to Grant Delpit. So, I just felt like Baker, the first half was rough, and I know he was able to bounce back, but he's definitely a fizz out. We were all waiting for him to do something special in this game, and it never really materialized. So, Baker, definitely a fizz out in my mind, at least for this game. I hope he comes back better in week 2, but Matt Rule, there were just some calls there, especially late in the game, that I just, and that's the thing, too. At the end of the day, you are the head coach. You are expected to motivate these players. In the first half, they were not motivated. They did not want to be there, or at least it seemed like that. So, Matt Rule, this team did not look ready in the first half, and I think even though they got it ready in the second half, they have to come out firing on all cylinders, because you can't expect to win like that in the NFL. And then also another fizz out, I love CJ Henderson. I think he's going to be a good player, but pass interference that early in the game, when Jacoby Brissett laid it out there for him. I mean, you got to get your head around. You got to find a way to make a play there. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a learning experience for him. Then also, yes, the run defense for the Panthers, definitely a fizz out, but only because, it's the Browns. You really don't fault them for that. The Browns were able to do so many different things and have they're so good at running the football. It's hard to stop. So, as far as, like we said, Christian McCaffrey played well, 10 carries, 33 yards and a touchdown. Baker Mayfield also added a touchdown on the ground. I forgot to mention that. But, defensively, Brian Burns is one of the most underrated defensive ends in the NFL, or outside linebackers. Jeremy Chin, I love him. I think he's going to be a big part of this team moving forward. But then Damian Wilson, I know he had a sack, but there were many plays throughout the game where I'm just like, Xavier Woods had 10 tackles as a safety. That should say something for you, as well as Jeremy Chin. So yeah, I think when you have a safety making that many tackles, that really points to a lot of different things for your defense and how well that they played. So I felt the defense played relatively well, but it was the fact that, hey, there were a lot of different things defensively I would have liked to seen them especially stop the run. That was definitely one of those things. So also, I forgot to mention Eddie Pinheiro, the guy, he nailed that field goal to give the Panthers the lead late in the game. So, great to see that they've got at least a backup kicker, or at least a guy that can come in and nail it when they need him to, but it's rough. I think overall, the Panthers are in an interesting spot. I think that they are absolutely a talented team, and if Baker can lead this team, I think they can go a long ways. But overall, it wasn't pretty. It really wasn't. But and as far as the Browns go, I think Jacoby Brissett can hold the fort down. He can do his thing and find a way to win games and just give the ball off to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt until Deshaun Watson gets back. I think it's going to be one of those things where I think he can hold down the fort, and I'm excited for the Browns moving forward because they got the defense to back it up as well. But that's it. That's our latest edition of Standouts and Fizzouts for the Cleveland Browns versus the Carolina Panthers. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. And if we missed anybody that stood out or fizzled out to you guys, let us know. And also let us know what kind of pop you drink, because again, fizzled out. We love our pop here. So let us know what kind of pop you guys drink in the comment section down below. But also give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our latest edition of Standouts and Fizzouts for the Cleveland Browns versus Carolina Panthers matchup.